I've got the incredible Forbes Riley with us here today. She's been all over the world, been vacationing in Greece, but she's been dropping dimes. This is how powerful she is. She dropped 2 powerhouse lessons before she went on the on the XP Mentor platform, and I've been getting crazy feedback. So we're glad to have each and every one of you here. Forbes, welcome back from Greece.
Oh, can you see I'm nice and tan? I'm kind of got all that color going on. Let me tell you something. I had an amazing time. You know, I've been teaching and talking about, not only did I drop dimes for you guys, but I was doing some of my coaching while I was in Greece, which unfortunately is 7 hours ahead. So some of my classes started at 3 a.m. in the morning, but as my family and friends and fans now go, he's super dedicated. And that's the truth. I also realize if you talk and teach on a vacation, it becomes a tax deduction. Just saying.
Okay, that's another dime. That's another dime.
No, but it really is important. You know, I got to tell you something. Some people go away for a week or 2 weeks, Jay. I've always been somebody who likes to go for a longer period of time and really explore. And this was no exception. I was there for 4 weeks with my daughter. And why wouldn't we continue to talk and build and make it a tax deduction and have a working holiday? Because people are like, oh, you working on your vacation? I'm like, baby girl, when you're an entrepreneur, when you got a book and a message and something, you're always working. I'm always inviting or teaching or coaching. So it's kind of seamless for me. I don't take my laptop to the beach, but I don't know about you, Jay. I can only sit on the beach for so long. There's only so much sun that I need, right?
Yeah.
But I do invite you to take a look at the photos on my Instagram. Did you see the flying dress photo? The one
that was super fly. It was a super fly flying dress.
I know. And also now I've got all of these photos for social media. So I'm not kidding about incorporating your life. When you're an entrepreneur, you don't want to be the person who's always selling all the time. You want to be the person who's dropping nuggets, who's inviting people into your world. And I have certainly incorporated my entire life into social media, not right for everybody, but let's take a lesson from the Kardashians. They all have
do they do it? Do they do it?
Right. That's just too much. Not a big fan of that. By the way, I don't know, Jay, if you know this, but if you go to YouTube and you type in Forbes Riley and Kim Kardashian, I gave that little girl her start in television. Did you know that?
Come on, talk to us about this. By the way, Forbes, this is a jam session where it's just everything and anything off the cuff. So let's get this Kardashian scoop inside the XP Mentor Jam session.
Let me ask a question. Can I share my screen? I've never used this platform before. Can we share this?
I don't know if you can share here or not.
Let's find out if we can. We can. Let's see. It says here, share screen. Hang on. All right, I'm gonna do this for you. I don't think you've ever seen this.
You gonna give me something with my own technology over? This is great.
Baby. I live on Zoom. All right, so let's see. Oh, there you go. Check this out. Oh, you know what? I can't hit the share button for some reason. It wants choose what to share. Hang on. Oh, if I do this, you're going to be in love with me, right?
All right, here it is. I got it. I see it. Bam.
We invited a top Hollywood stylist who's known to be the closet organizer to the stars. Please welcome my dear friend, Kim Kardashian. Hello.
You've seen her in all her magazines and on the Entertainment Network with her best friend, Paris. Beautiful Kimberly Kardashian is a model and film and TV wardrobe stylist. Plus, she's busy with her 2 businesses doing celebrity closet makeovers and her upscale fashion store, Dash, in Southern California. What does this fashion pro think of the all-new Pressabella?
I'm in the fashion business, so it's really important for me to make clothes look great quickly. This is what I used to
All right, so here's the scoop on that. I know, right? You did not know that. So the scoop on that is that her dad and I, Bruce, had done an infomercial for vitamins. Him, myself, and Jay Cutler.
I remember that. Okay, this is all coming back. About how long ago was that for? About what year?
My kids were about 2, so it's about 2004.
Okay,
which,
here we go.
She had 0 credits. It's important to know she had 0 credits in 2004. That was her very first TV appearance ever. And Chris and I had been friends. We've been in the infomercial industry forever. And she invited me over to the house. I'm sorry I didn't get the picture of all of us on the bed in their room because who knew Kylie and Kendall would be anything? They were little pumpkins at the time, right? And Chris said, can you get my daughter on television? And I said, well, I've got this infomercial. I was doing it with Kevin Harrington from Shark Tank. Kim was an amazing closet organizer and a stylist. We're doing a steam iron. I said, let's invite her. And we did. And that was the very beginning. And I remember sitting in a convertible here in Florida. She went in and she reorganized Kevin Harrington's wife's closet. She's really brilliant at this.
Okay.
And then she said, my family, we've got a reality show with Ryan Seacrest. And I said to her, well, okay, just let me know how that's going to work out for you. Who the heck knew? I had no idea. But I'm also going to say that because I know the family, that the first year of the show, I was very embarrassed. I was very upset watching them yell and scream and fight. And it was a very traumatic show. And then the sex tape came out. And I thought those are lines that I personally would not cross. And everyone always said to me, well, why is Kim famous? She doesn't do anything. Well, let me tell you something, all of you. That's not true. One of the things that Kim and her sisters and her mom did that no other Hollywood actress was doing back in the early 2000s was when they left the house, they looked like movie stars. You would always see these actresses, you know, with their no makeup, looking like rags with their sweatpants on. Kim always left done, which takes a whole lot of work. And she started to set a style bar for the rest of America. It was literally, I believe, the beginning of coming back to being glam. And now if you look at YouTube and you see all the girls with their makeup tutorials, all the false eyelashes, all the wigs and hairs, I think it all started with them and this crazy resurgence of being glamorous in Hollywood.
This is unbelievable. See, these are things that you just don't know unless you're on the inside. Because Forbes has never told me that story, but Forbes, you've helped a lot of people get their start. And I can remember being in a clubhouse room with you one night. And I don't know if you remember this or not. I was just sitting back and you were ripping, dropping dimes like you always do. And I said, here's the deal. I feel that one of my roles in my life is to properly position you for you to get the credit and increase the impact that you deserve. Do you remember that?
Oh, I very much remember that. That was one of the nicest things. And by the way, I think I've heard that from people before, but you actually followed up and you really are on a mission. And I remember when you said that, I felt very special. Guys, it's very important to know when you look at me or anyone who's in the public eye, you see the top of the iceberg. You don't see the whole bottom of the iceberg. And you don't see all the years of struggle of managers and agents who chased me around the desk where I just wanted to hide for a couple of years because the whole Me Too movement hadn't started yet, where people would screw me over, where people would say something. I remember I was 34 years old and I was auditioning for ET, Entertainment Tonight. And the producer just looked at me and said, "You're too old." And I took that to heart. Well, I got to tell you, in my 60s, at 62 now, I'm thinking 32, Jesus. But when they say that to you, they also said to things to me, and who knows why they say things, but when you're in Hollywood, you set yourself up, kind of like when you're a professional sports player, you set yourself up to be picked apart. How far is your wingspan? How far is this? You just have to have a thick skin, and I didn't. At that time, my personal foundation was pretty shallow and sad. I grew up kind of an ugly, awkward little girl. I hadn't come into my own yet. I hadn't found love. I didn't really know who I was. And so when people knocked me over, I fell down and I stayed there for a while. And one guy once said, you know, you're never going to make it in Hollywood because you're not big-breasted with blonde hair. And I thought, yeah, but neither is Jane Fonda or Katharine Hepburn or Audrey Hepburn or people that I love. Why would you say that to me? And then my head's going around, well, maybe he's right. That's what Hollywood does. And I got to tell you, to get your head on straight in that world. And then, just to be really clear, you look at some of the stars who popped really early, like a Justin Bieber or Judy Garland, they didn't survive into their 20s and 30s. Or Michael Jackson, when you hit too young in that environment, they eat you up and spit you out. And as the public, we look at it going, well, I don't understand. Marilyn Monroe was dead by the time she was 36. That's a really important thing to understand if that's your career path, if that's what you want to do. And so I teach this to everybody that number one, if you peaked in high school, you peaked too soon. Are you somebody who didn't sit at the cool table in high school? No, nobody even knew I existed in high school. However, this is the funny part of that. I think that we're all destined for a level of greatness, probably bigger than we all are playing. And so at 15 and a half, when my dad had a horrible accident, he spent 3 years in the hospital. I was this awkward kid with a broken nose and braces and frizzy hair. I was overweight. And my mom said to me, we have no money for college. That's all that I wanted to do. I was smart. And now we had no money for college. And she said, well, there's this beauty pageant in town. And I'm like, okay. And she said, yeah, I know, which is great. Now mom and I both know I'm ugly. And my dad's doctor overheard this, Jay, and he fixed my nose. And kind of like you believed in me, he said, just let me do this for you, for your family. And almost overnight, my entire life changed because of a nose job at 15. Well, yeah, and if I can find a picture pretty quickly, I will share this with you because it's almost a Hollywood fairy tale story that this little girl who was pretty ugly and thought she was ugly, and everyone kind of agreed that she was ugly, overnight got kind of cute, entered a pageant, a national pageant. And here, I'm going to show you this picture.
So you immediately went into the pageant.
Well, here's the thing. I had no option about getting a scholarship. But here, I'm going to show you this picture. Give me just 2 seconds here for this to load. This is a picture that you've never seen.
Okay.
And I want Lena to see this too, because I love the story. I think it's kind of precious. Here we go, sharing my screen again. Forbes is taking over your environment here.
No, this is great. This is jam session. Y'all ready? Set. Here we go.
Okay. All right, so you see that little girl, and I started out kind of cute, but there was something wrong with my teeth, right? And so they put me in braces for 8 years. Can you imagine your little boy in braces for 8 years?
Gosh, oh.
2 of those years, they put this thing in my mouth, and now I talk like this. And when you talk like this, no one wants to talk to you. And there I am looking with my broken nose and my frizzy hair and being overweight. Wow. And there's my beautiful dad who built that printing press, even though he didn't go to college. And one day he slipped and cut his hand off, the whole front of his hand, and spent 3 years in the hospital. Wow. And so imagine this, we're standing in the hospital, braces came off, but do you see, I look a little sad. My smile is upside down. Now, right. Jay, all they did was fix my nose. And within a week, this little girl popped out.
Wow.
Do you see how
that looks like McKenna Jr. right there, by the way.
Right. Do you see how my smile went from upside down to right side up?
Yeah, like you were fighting your smile before, and then you let your smile go afterwards.
Look at the size of my eyes. Look at, I mean, it's could one little.
These are little things. Everybody pay attention here.
And all of a sudden, that girl on the right looked in the mirror and said, I'm kind of cute. And it's not like I wanted to win a pageant. I needed a scholarship. And so I entered, and I had no money, so I borrowed a bridesmaid's dress. I mean, I even look at the side of that. Look at what it did to my profile. It's fascinating how this changed. Well, I entered in a bridesmaid's dress, and there I am, and I won the Miss Teenage New York pageant. I'm 16 years old.
Look at you crying. You were crying.
Oh, my God. Are you kidding me? And there I am on TV with Bob Hope, NBC, 1977. But here's the funny thing that you need to know, because everything that you want, and you, my friend, when we listen to your story, just because you got to be a professional sports person, it wasn't all it was cracked up to be when you got there. It may not have been exactly what you wanted. Well, same thing for me. I wanted to win. I get to Tulsa, Oklahoma, 1977. They've never seen a little Jewish kid from New York. Y'all talk so funny. You have the funniest accent. Like, what the fuck you talking about? I have an accent. This didn't go over very well. I had very little social skills. I remember I didn't talk and have a lot of friends, and I was really awkward. And then, you're nice even for a Jew. Where your horns? How come all the Jews in that?
Man.
I didn't even know religion is not the thing that it's like, I never experienced this. So
people literally said that to you. You're nice even for a Jew.
Oh, I have it written in an autograph book. I have, where are your horns? How come the Jews in my town are rich? I didn't know we were any different. I grew up in a neighborhood in New York where it was Jewish and Italian, right? Pizza, pasta, and matzah. I didn't care. It was all the same for me. I've got friends of every religion. I was made to feel so bad and so prejudiced against that it was the worst week of my life. But here's what did come out. That little girl did go to college, and that was why I went. And that's my mom. Now, I talk about in everything that I teach, and when you talk about mentors, I make you go back to where you began. My mom was always 260 pounds my whole life. She was always large. She didn't eat well. She was diabetic. She had bad ankles and veins popping out and smoked. All the things that I made a very strong vow not to do. And I said, that little girl is going to become Forbes Riley. And I did. And I created the vision that I wanted to be. I look the way, you can only look as good as you can look, but when I look at that woman going, that woman on the right is older than my mom in that picture.
That's crazy.
But I decided that I was going to create who I was. And you have the ability to do that. And so, and then by the way, for those of you who don't know me, just to continue on the story here, the next thing I wanted was to fall in love. Jay, you know what that means to really fall in love.
Yeah. What
does it do for you?
Changes your whole world, man. It makes life like you have a whole different level of meaning to your life.
So I've sat many times with Jay and Lena, and the love bubble around them is so tangible and so precious. Yeah. Well, I had been married, and we also, by the way, I don't know, a lot of people know this, but I went through the murder of a little boy that I raised for 12 years. Did you know that?
I don't think people know about that backdrop, because people go through trauma, Forbes, and they don't know about that.
Well, it was a traumatic part. It separated my husband and I did not. People don't handle the loss of a child very well. And I'd always looked for love. I had 2 little babies of my own, and I was single for a long time. And then I said, and this is what I ask all of you to do. 1, decide what you want in life, what you're willing to do to get it. And I said I wanted a partner, but I also wanted someone who looked like he walked off the cover of a romance novel. I was screwed over by Disney. I wanted that guy to ride in on a white horse looking like, but is that okay if that's what I want? Yeah, And so Forbes, you're in your late 50s. You're going to get a guy like that? Well, this is my Joshua. And I will tell you what, he walked into my hotel room to be a fitness model for my spin gym and never walked out. On August 8th in a week, we're going to celebrate 5 years together.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy and proud to have found the absolute love of my life. He and I have traveled around the world. We adore each other. And I don't know if you can see that, but just when you think things are great, he got hit by on his motorcycle by a car 2 years ago. And my big fitness hunk hero guy.
So this is when you and him were together.
Oh, this is 2 years ago.
Okay.
So we're together for 3 years. Okay. January 2nd, 2020, before COVID hit, he gets hit on his motorcycle, shattered his ankle, shattered his body, shattered his ribs, his back, spent 6 months in a wheelchair, woke up June 2020 in the middle of all the chaos of everyone being locked down in a lot of pain and said, I want to be Mr. Olympia. Now, I remember a little girl saying, I want to be Miss Teenage America, and how ridiculous that was. And I thought, oh man, that's going to be so much work, dude. Look at you. And he said, I'm an athlete. I'm a born champion, and I'm going to get up even if I'm in pain and go for it. And 1 year later, he ended up looking like that.
Now look at that. That's 1 year.
Now, here's the crazy thing, though, Jay. He did not win. He went on stage at Mr. Olympia, and I don't know what my next picture is. Oh, yeah, okay. And he did not win. You know why? He looked great, but he limped. He was in so much pain.
Right.
And it was heartbreaking to watch him on stage because he didn't realize that his face was just grimacing in pain. The doctor, when he walked off, said, are you okay? That's how bad it was.
Wow.
And he came to me and he said, I'm going to hang up. I'm 44. I'm just going to retire. But I could feel that championship blood coursing through his veins where he said, that's not good enough for me. I'm like, oh my God. He said, yeah, I'm going to go for one more. I turned 45 this year and there's a competition that's based on age. I'm like, okay. And so 2 weeks ago, he was trained for about 8 months.
I remember it. I saw him in the training. He was disciplined.
Right. He's incredibly disciplined. He's somebody that we all want to learn from. Yep. And this time he not only got on stage with, I'm looking for his he just posted this. He got on stage this time. He understood that he needed to smile. And he not only entered in his age category, but he also entered in his height category. So he competed against the guys who are in their 20s.
Okay.
Guys, if you go to Facebook and look up Joshua Self, he did it. He won. I'm going to start to cry. He looked so good. That guy is 45 years old. After looking as shrunk as he was, he got up there. He did it. He had the energy. He didn't care if his foot hurt. He won not one title, but he won 2 titles. And I'm just insanely proud of this man, like nobody's business.
So we're talking about 2 years ago, shattered, broken, hurting. And see, now Forbes, everybody understand this is important because this is a mentorship platform. Forbes, our mission here, as I said to you earlier, is I want to build the world's strongest entrepreneurs. That's what I want to build, because my philosophy is if you build strong people, you can do anything.
Well, here's why I'm a fan of yours. I have been a lone wolf most of my life for a variety of reasons, and maybe you can relate to me if you're listening to this. That one, a little bit of imposter syndrome. All of a sudden, I won a contest after being ugly all those years. It didn't feel real. I got into college. I've won a lot of things in my life, and you're trying to justify, is this really right? Do I deserve this? And it takes a lot to step into your own personal greatness. So I didn't want to have people judge me, about that. So I would play a little small. I very rarely asked for help. I could have fast-tracked my life if somebody could have told me, like you, that you could be on a team. See, the difference also between boys and girls, you on a team, my friend. Yep. As women, we're in beauty, we're competing against each other. I didn't understand the word about team. I can't play.
I hear real talk right here.
No, this is really real. In fact, I was so smart in school that if we all got on a group, like they assigned, you 5 do this task, I would say to everybody, look, I'll get us an A, you go and play. I did. Well, that's not good because you learn in business that you can only do that for so long before you burn out or hit a place you cannot scale. And then I meet Jay. Now, Jay comes from the network marketing world. I have been in that world a little bit on and off. I sucked at it. Why? Because I wasn't a team builder. I thought I could do this on my own. I could sell more product, be bigger. And I watched Jay, and the thing that enticed me about him and his world was he always talks about, one, the team to make it happen, but the team that he makes it happen for, the teams that he builds, the hundreds of thousands of people that he elevates to another level. And I am in this mentor program and aligned with Jay pretty much for that one reason, that I am learning and appreciating what it means to be on a team, to not think that you have to do it all, to ask for help, to accept coaching and guidance, and then see all of us elevate. It's really what I love about you.
See, she just told you the principles in this book. Wallace D. Waddle, and I'm telling you, Forbes, this is the law of attraction absolutely in action. Period, everybody. I read this book last year. I hear Rhonda Byrne from The Secret talking about it. I read it. I'm changed. And then I remove myself. This is hard. This has been hard for me to even grip. I removed myself from the competitive plane. And I came all in on the creative plane. Once I did, people like a Forbes Riley come jumping into my life. And I come jump. It's like we jump in each other's lives. If you are here, an XP mentor, you're part of the jump. So Forbes, what would you say about that? Like, about, because people are here, they're just now getting the groove of what we're doing, where we're going. What do you want to see for the people that are here? What does Forbes Riley want to see for these people?
One of the problems with the internet right now is that everybody and their mother's got a course or a training or a platform. And you as an entrepreneur need to learn all of these things. You need to learn how to do your Instagram stories or how to make a reel or how to do a Canva. And you're going and you're picking at all of these places. Those people have not been vetted. It's why you go to college, because you assume that the college is having accredited professors and gives you a diploma and puts you through a course. Well, I'll tell you what, my business partner has not been to college. One reason that she's not been to college is that because she started a business with me when she was 17. Get that? She just graduated high school. She's been in business since she was 12. Now, and I mean seriously in business. She did her first drop shipping and she's gone on to build YouTube channels for people like Joe Theismann and other major celebrities because they didn't know what she knew. She has a book coming out called Every Company Needs a Kid. And kids just think differently. Hello. They don't see the box. They don't see the boundaries. They think they can walk to the moon and become an astronaut if they wanted to. We as adults will tell you all the reasons why you can't do that. And we're so busy telling you can't. The second thing about the book and the concept that she said, Mom, you know what my job is? I'm like, what? She said, my job is to learn. You forgot how to do that. Oh, shit. She's right. I left college a long time ago. How many times have you ever bought a course and you get halfway through and you don't finish it? And it doesn't matter if you don't finish it because nobody's threatening you with, if you don't get an A, you won't get into college. You won't get a degree. So you buy all these courses, you don't finish them. You half of this, and you're left wondering why your career is stalled and you feel stuck. So one thing, and it doesn't exist anymore, and Jay, this is fun. I know you want to do this, is there was an internet kind of college. They launched and imploded quickly, but my daughter was a beneficiary of that. She got a $10,000 scholarship to attend. And she learned in the inside of a year from some major experts how to build funnels, like from Russell Brunson. She's good friends with Russell. Okay. Wow. She was 15 at the time. He shouted her out at a 10X stage. That's how much he adored her. She learned how to buy Facebook ads. She learned how to write copy. She learned all these basics in one arena with the best of the best. And then for some reason, the management, it blew up. All right. So now you are an entrepreneur going, where do I go? What school do I go to? Well, there is no real school to this. In fact, McKenna's not going to go to college traditionally. You know why? Because we started a coaching company 2 years ago. She grossed $1 million in her first 8 months of business as an 18-year-old. And now in our second year of business, we've got 16 people that rely on her because she's the team leader of 16 people. She pays their salaries all around the world. She just went to visit one in Hungary. She's going to Italy. We've got Philippines. Oh, she's 19 years old now. Hello.
19. Everybody get that. 19.
We've got people who are college grads coming to us or college to be interns. And her big awakening was with Mom. They don't seem to know half the stuff that I know.
don't know
What are they teaching them? No, they're teaching them a theory, and they're teaching them, make sure you got that second language in there, and make sure you got your, your astronomy class. I don't know what they're doing. But meanwhile, she's printing money and helping other people. So as I see XP Mentor, I see that Jay's sensibility, you see, Jay is a very specific person. Jay is a professional athlete. There's only a small, tiny percentage of people who ever get to that level. I'm going to tell you, somebody who gets there understands things that the average people don't. There's things that Joshua, as a world champion, understands that we don't. Yeah. He really understands nutrition and macros and working out. We all pretend to. You ever go to a gym and you look the same year after year after year? Joshua, look the difference, right? And by the way, he's teaching. We should get him on this platform. He just launched his newest course.
I want it.
And so Jay said, look, I understand how to build a team of people who can delineate the message, but also a team who can learn the message and then up level together. And so I'm proud to be part of the team. I think you want to go to where the waters really flow gold. Why not?
That's right.
That's what it is.
Y'all better get ready because it's going to be on and popping. Now, I have built, they say, my database of people from the direct sales world, over 3.5 million people. I did that from my mama's basement, starting from there. You can do anything. So what I've decided to do is take the professional athlete discipline, the direct sales experience of team building, and combine them into the traditional marketing world like it's never been seen before, with all the competition removed and going, everybody, there's enough for all of us. And when I heard Forbes, I was sitting back because she reminds me of some of my mentors. When I first got into the entrepreneur game, I had 3 badass women. I was 27. And here I got a 23-year-old girl from Romania that can barely speak English. She had just made $10,000 in her 4th month in business. And here I am living with a roommate. My baseball career is hanging in the rafters. And then she says, you got to listen to me. And I was like, y'all got to understand, professional athlete. I'm 27 at the time. My roommate was Alex Rodriguez. I just left Alex from Seattle, playing next to Ken Griffey Jr. Now I got a 23-year-old, and she said, you got to listen to me. And I was like looking at her, and then she showed me a copy of her check. And she said, 90% of that is from residual. I said, okay, I'm going to listen to you. She introduced me to a 26-year-old who've been making about $15,000 a month for several years. Now I'm a year older than her. And she goes, you should really listen to us. She introduced me to a 28-year-old, now it's just a year older than me, who had $1 million home in San Diego, another one down in Clearwater, right on Clearwater Beach. And she calling me honey. She go, honey, I'll never forget this, Bob. She go, I said, how'd you do it? I went to her, I said, how'd you do it? She go, honey, when I was 22 years, I was a bartender. And she said, while most people have been out doing traditional jobs and exchanging hours for dollars, I've been building residuals for the past 6 years. So that's how I did it. So here's why Forbes is so important to me, y'all. Because she's got that energy from my old mentors. We had our run with them. They're doing their thing right now, balling. Forbes is unique because she's in a world that is hardcore male dominated. I'm going to see if she'll talk about it. Hardcore male dominated. And I'm going, with what I know and the contacts and how I know how to position things, I believe I can help properly position Forbes to be able to get the credit that she deserves, because she will, and while she does it, she's going to impact more people, which is part of my goal. How you feel about that, Forbes?
Well, one of the problems being an actress is that you look for managers and agents, and you're looking for the wrong people. And so that's my history. And I wish I'd understood about, finding CEOs and investors and a different part of business who could have really elevated me personally. So a lot of what I ended up doing, I did on my own. Again, not the smartest thing to do. I got to a certain level. Guys, let's get real about my skills, by the way, in what I do are second to none. I've grossed $2.5 billion. I have worked in an industry of—
Can you say that one more time?
$2.5 billion. Okay.
What a B. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, and I can probably outsell or outpitch anybody and teach what I know now. There's a real system to how I do this. But you used to see me 400 to 800 times a week on television, infomercials that ran over like Jacqueline Juicer, Montel Williams. I mean, boom, we were just cranking this out. We were printing money. And then I would go on live home shopping and do $1 million days. You guys have no idea. People go, what could you sell at 2 o'clock in the morning? I'm like, dude, see that car out there? That's what I did at 2 o'clock in the morning. So there's a whole world about selling and infomercials, but it was all men. And it was very challenging. Number one, and it still goes true, men don't really love smart women. You know what? You got to be quite an interesting guy. That's why, Jay, hold up your other book about you appreciating women. It's Why I Like You. Yeah. That book just totally, I love reading. So the subtitle of that book is pretty interesting too.
Right. From the perspective of real men. You got to be a real man to feel what Forbes is saying.
Well, because here's the fine line. I was an attractive woman. You walk a fine line. Everybody wants to hit on you or sleep with you, and you don't want it. I was very puritanical. I can literally stand here with my stake in the ground and challenge anybody. I never slept or exchanged sexual favors with anybody for anything I ever got. Not that I went out on dates and had some good dinners, but never for business. I made a firm thing in my head that was just not what I was going to do. My mom was quite the prude. She was 27 as a virgin when she got married. So I have it's not religious. It really just came down to morals and how I was raised. And I'm really proud of myself at this age. And it's funny because I look at some of my actor friends now and my heart is shattered because there's some secrets that we didn't know. I always knew in Hollywood that people, she slept with him. I didn't know what that meant. I walked away from every one of those relationships. They seemed disgusting and weird to me. And then you look at Harvey Weinstein. Jay, think about it. I'm an actress. I've done dozens of movies. I'm in a movie right now on Amazon called Farm to Fork to Love. Write that down. And I've done television series. Yeah. And I've got a very big IMDb page. But there's no Academy Award-winning movies up there. But you know what's interesting? Harvey Weinstein controlled all those Academy Award-winning movies. And now what's coming out is how many people he hurt. From Gwyneth Paltrow to Rosie, I can go down the list of I can't at the moment think about it, but actresses who he raped in the back of a closet somewhere at an event at a party and said, if you tell, your career is over. And some of my favorite actresses, their careers, you wondered where they went. And now finally it came to light that there was a monster at the top of the Academy Awards preying on young women and everybody in the world seemed to know about it. Oh my God, I am actually really glad that I don't have an Academy Award-winning movie where I would have gotten screwed over literally or figuratively. It was bad enough being in that town. And so I took that out and had to heal my own way. But now I'm dealing with men who do infomercials, and a lot of them are from other countries in this that don't really respect women. Right. And when you're smart and you're vocal and you speak up, I discover people actually don't really like you. And that would be insecure men, or maybe insecure women. I don't know. I didn't really know how to judge. If I thought that I was right, I would tell you. And people go, Forbes, we appreciate you, but you've been around somebody who you don't have to be right. Sometimes you have to shut up and listen and let them make the same mistakes. I've done 194 infomercials. Wow. I got to tell you, when you're doing one and the producers are all doing something that doesn't work because it didn't work the last 3 times, and you're like, shit, they're not going to listen to me. I bit my tongue a lot. I played small. I tried to figure out where I fit in, and I had my share of bumps on my head. And when Jay said to me, and I remember this very clearly in Clubhouse, I'd love to see you at that level. Yeah, I'm not where Oprah is. I'm not even Mel Robbins. I got to tell you, I'm on a stage now. I do speak with Deepak Chopra, Les Brown, and Grant Cardone, and I've made a level. But Jay, the level that I want is a level that I've never even imagined how to get to. Right. See, when you think of motivational men, Jay, who do you think of? Motivational. Tony Robbins. Give me another one. Les Brown. Okay, give me another one. Zig Ziglar, Gary Vaynerchuk.
Hey, you got Vaynerchuk. Get Grant Cardone.
Yep, Zig Ziglar.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go down the list. Give me the women who are, give me the women who are at that level. Guys, I know you come on.
Forbes Riley, period.
Well, but here's what's really important to know.
This is the thing. I've been there. I've seen it. I know who's got the ball and stick. Forbes carries the stick, but guess what? We got to help her swing it. How many y'all put in the comments? Y'all put in the comments if y'all ready to help me help Forbes get the proper positioning. Y'all put it in there. We're gonna bring some fire up in this place. Come on, y'all.
Take a look at
go. Go ahead, Forbes.
Take a look at this group of people. By the way, this also came out of Clubhouse. See that list? That's pretty impressive. I got to tell you, I'm the one in the middle right now with Les Brown, Eric Thomas, Jack Canfield, John Asroff, and some other pretty amazing people. I'm almost there, household name wise, but I'm pretty proud of that. Now so let me get to some specific real quick. I teach, and I'm going to teach on this platform, and specifically to this platform, some techniques about pitching. Pitching for me is how you get anything and everything you want. So Jay pitched me. He didn't even know it, but that's how good he is. Because the best way to pitch somebody is to give them what they want first, then they'll give you what you want. He's like, I'm going to help you get to where you want, girl. Oh, and by the way, I got this platform. You want to be on it? Absolutely. See how that works, guys? Too many of you, when you're pitching, you go, I've got this amazing product and you should have it. Dude, let me share something with you. And write this down. One of my biggest lessons in pitching. No one. Stop telling people what they need and get them to want what you have. If you tell them that they need this new vitamin or they need this new car, they're going to go, no. You got to get them to want what you have. So Jay, I'll play a game with you.
Let's go.
I'll ask you a question and I got an answer here, right? I've already written the answer. Would you like to see something cool?
I would.
How did I know you'd say yes? I knew the answer before I asked the question. Guys, if you can do that in a pitch, if you know the answer before you ask the question, if you want what I've got, here's another one for you. Raise your arm up, my friend, right here. Do you have a nice, tough, tight arm? Or like most women, you got a little wiggly jiggly here? I got a fitness product here.
I got some tight going on at 54. Right. What's up? Right. I got a little bit of Josh.
All right. 62 female. How many 62 female women look like this? I got to tell you, would any of you like to look like that? That's all I'm going to ask you. I'm not pitching your product. If you'd like to look at it, you say yes. Then I'm going to ask you another question. Would you like to do it in 5 minutes? 5 minutes a day. If you keep saying yes, at some point I'm going to go show you, well, here's how I did it. And I'm going to take that little them. I'm going to say, this thing got that. Do you want it?
By the way, guys, I'm trying to have Forbes get that into the new health company that I'm launching next week. I'm trying to see if she's going to work with me in this.
You know, it's my heart. I love this product, but the idea of getting you to
I saw you. She ain't playing. Forbes invites us to lunch in Boca Raton. Me and Lena go down to this beautiful place. We go down. We sat there. I bet you we went in there 3 minutes, and Forbes was like, "Hey, honey, how you doing?" And I see her up demonstrating this thing, so she means what the hell she's talking about with this. She believes in it.
Well, it's been 10 years. I've sold 2.5 million of these. I need to play a little bigger game with that, but I'll tell you what, that nobody thought this was going to work. Nobody. I was on a TV series called Pitchmen, and again, with a group of guys who were out to prove the woman couldn't do it. And I know as a man, you might go, Forbes, you got to stop that. Guys, I'm just sharing my personal experience. I love men to no end. I love women to no end. I don't like people who categorize other people and put them down. I really don't. Right. And what it's funny now today, and I'm excited about Lena, is that turn on the TV. For the first time, we've got women in power. We never had this before. Right. There's a Hulk. There's a new She-Hulk. I mean, I'm not kidding. Like, it really feels like it's my time. It's like we've been put down just long enough where we get to go, all right, we are action heroes. We are starring in movies. We're getting paid the same as the man to do the same job. And it's an interesting time. It's also, there's an ageism. I don't know if you feel it. You mentioned your age. Right. I got to tell you, people who are in their 20, 30 think you're really old and outdated, and they always have. They might always, but I'll tell you what, if you keep your youthful spirit, you become undeniable. And I look at my young little whippersnappers, and I'm like, you know what, guys? I've been there. I've seen that. If you keep going down that path, that's where that's going to lead you. Not that I can predict the future, but some days I can because I've seen it. And then I can learn from you as well. So the ageism, the sexism, racism is obviously a thing nowadays. You turn on the TV, you see people who look like you, whoever you are. You see gay, trans, black, purple, Chinese, you see everybody, because we all of a sudden woke up and realized that we are all part of this planet. And so I think it is an amazing time to not let anything be a barrier, but it is also a tremendous responsibility because now you can't blame anybody. You can't go, oh, I can't do that because I'm too old. I can't do that because I'm a woman. I can't do that because I'm too tall. Now it's your responsibility to find your personal greatness. And to do that, you got to have mentors. You got to have people who walked the walk already, left breadcrumbs, and you don't have to struggle. And I think, Jay, one of the things in terms of mentoring, I think about maximize, minimize, and monetize. You're going to maximize the efforts that you're putting in. You're going to minimize the ridiculous time it took and the struggle to get there. And you're actually going to make money from it.
Y'all put that in. Maximize,
minimize, and monetize.
Minimize and monetize. Y'all type that in the chat. We got about 5 minutes left with the incredible Forbes Riley. Forbes, here's what I want to say to everybody. This is why this platform is so cool. Guys, I'm very good at what I do. I'm just telling you that that's just how I feel. Kind of like Kendrick Lamar said. He goes, that's just how I feel. All right. You know, I don't know if you know that song Money Trees. You ever heard? You know, it's about the, you know, I've been hustling all day, this away, that away, through canals and alleyways, just to say money trees, it's the perfect place for shade, man. That's just how I feel. Now, oh, yeah, that right there. Listen, I'm good at what I do. Just like when I stole bases, I stole 82 bases in 1991.
Damn.
And here's what I used to do. And let me tell you, Ty Waller, who just retired a few years ago as the third base coach for the Oakland A's, he was my base running coach and outfield coach. When I first came up, I just had raw speed, just raw. And I came out of college, which I stole a lot of bases in college, and I was getting thrown out like early on. And then Ty said, you got to get your technique down. And we got to get you to the point where the pitcher knows you're going, the catcher knows you're going, the coaches know you're going, both dugouts and the stand knows you're going, and you still steal that base. He goes, you want to know how you're going to do that? I said, how? He goes, simple techniques. So they taught me, Forbes, a little technique about opening up taking my right foot and just sliding it back a little bit, about this much. So instead of having my feet parallel, if you take your front foot and slide it back about 3 or 4 inches, it opens up your right hip. Fastest distance between 2 points is a straight line. What happens when your feet are together and you take your first step, you step in a loop. So you step here and then you come back straight. He goes, if you watch Ricky Henderson, the greatest base stealer of all time, he goes, you'll notice he does a slight slip step, which seems counterproductive. He slides back just a little bit with his right foot, and now he has his hip straight and he can get in a straight line. He goes, then he says, I want you to take a stopwatch. I want you to time from the first time a pitcher makes a movement to the ball hits the mitt. I want you to get a stopwatch. I want you to clock how long that takes. He goes, a great catcher is going to get the ball to second base in 2 seconds. He goes, all right, let's go ahead and work on your jump. So he went and timed me. I was getting from first to second base in 3.1 seconds. 3.1 seconds. So from the time I took off, 3.1 seconds. A good catcher gets the ball there in 2 seconds. A good pitcher will get the ball from his first movement. The ball will be in the mitt in 1.3 seconds. So 2 plus 1.3 is 3.3. I got there in 3.1 with a good jump. He says, so if you got a good jump, you're going to steal that base. So here's what I'm telling everybody. Y'all can come for the journey. A very integral part of XP Mentor is we're going to position with MYB Publishing and Production. We're going to position Forbes Riley to where she's supposed to go, just like I know how to steal that base. I know how to do this. And you guys can watch it being done. She's going to be doing it. And then y'all can come along and go copy your business model and method off of what the hell we're doing. Forbes, how you feel about that to close us out?
You know what? I love having a coach. You are one of a select group of people. I've been coached by Tony Robbins. I've been coached by Sharon Lecter. I've been coached by Les Brown. I don't have minimal coaches. The best of the best is all that I'm after. And I love the analogy of the fact that, you know, we talk about being a great pitcher. Well, there's a whole baseball analogy in my world. And I actually put my entire premise on a diamond. And then I met my diamond, who happens to be a baseball, you know, and we're talking baseball terms here, you know, and I talk about that all the time. I talk about pitching in terms of baseball, because when you're about to pitch somebody, you've got to size up who you're pitching. That's what a pitcher does to a batter. You got to understand who it is. And in fact, they have a coach who's helping you understand who the prospect is. And then they've got a little catcher also, you know, doing all those. So I love those terms. And also I like any game that you can play on a diamond. It's just me.
Hey.
Hey, I'll tell you. And the uniforms are so cute. No, I've got a really cute picture of me in a baseball uniform. It's not as cute as Jay used to look. But so here's the deal, guys. You get to decide. I also have a new concept coming out. I've been teaching pitch solidly for 2 years now. Coming out next for me is going to be Forbes Factor. And Jay, I haven't really run all this by you, but what the letters in my name really stand for, how I got through the darkest times of my own life, how I've achieved what I've done. And I put it into a 6-step system that I think will be second to none. So you guys will be privy to that. You're going to get insider information. You're going to get coaching. You're going to get invited to our live events. We have a lot of stuff coming. If you're on the ground floor of anything, that's the solidest part of the foundation. You know, when you get into a network marketing company and you've got you are there at the beginning and it's wide open, it's easier to catch fish in a whole sea of fish than it is when you got a barrel with one.
Yep.
So I'm going to assure you that you're in the right place. Stay connected, stay enthusiastic. And if you can't figure that out, stay connected to us because we got enough energy for both of us.
That's right. And here's what's going to happen. Y'all see us having fun, but don't y'all think for a minute you ain't dealing with some samurais. I always tell people we laugh and cutting up, but Forbes is not missing anything. I'm not missing anything. And on this ride up, whoever's promoting the platform the most, whoever is encouraging the most, we're going to be sitting there looking because our growth comes through collaboration with those going with us. So if you're in the trenches and you're pushing the hardest and you're here and you're tagging people and you're getting people in here, we're going to say, damn, look at that person. So when it comes time to edify you, how would you love to have a Forbes Riley do a special promotion for your idea, your product, your service? How would y'all like to have that? I wonder who Forbes is going to do that for. That's the upper curate. All right, Forbes.
And then the last part of this, just so you know who you're in business with here, guys, we are both parents of kids that we love very much. Yep. There's something about that is really important. We're also in love, and there's something about that that's real important. And we're solidly in love, not with each other, although I love this man, but to see that energy, I love my Joshua. I love where he's going. I see Lena and Jay together and their son. That's what I want for my heart, for my future. And that's what I want for you guys. You don't have to have or be in love at the moment. You have to be around it because it rubs off on you. It becomes a mentality. It becomes a way that you think. There's a level of integrity that I am very, very keen on. I know this man is too. You give your word. You say you're going to show up. You do. You show up on time or maybe 15 minutes early. Right. So I'm excited to continue this conversation. So Ian and Kimberly, who's one of my dear friends, has been in my studio. And all the other people here on Facebook today, I want to say thank you. I love you, and I cannot wait to grow.
XP, baby. Expert, exponential. We are exploding. See? Explode. Thank you, Forbes. We love you. We cherish you. We honor you. Y'all get ready for the ride of your life. Forbes Riley. Y'all keep commenting, sharing this to everybody inside the group. Till the next time. Here we go. Right. XP up. Peace.